Evening, staff, mate. There will be no racing at the moment yet. Just what I think we're just waiting for a few people to come in to um, just to get in. That's all. So qualify first, mate, and then sprint racing after. Oh, alright then. So, good evening again, guys. This is RPR Monday nights. I'm your commentator, RL Cairo, and tonight we are at Brazil for round 3. So, we have a short qualifying session followed by a sprint race, and then from the sprint race we go into a full race distance, or half race distance, shall we say. So, a few drivers coming out now. Weather looks a bit dull at the moment, but we'll have a look and see what happens within the race. See what happens with the weather, see if anything changes. So Epic will be the first one, then Puggy, I believe, will be the next person to set the lap. And there'll be a few others, so let's ride off board with Epic first then to see what lap he can put in penultimately for the rest of the drivers. Got a yellow flag in sector 3, but that's just people giving the gaps to people, so we'll keep an eye on that. Shouldn't affect anybody really, but we'll see. Let's see how the drivers do tonight. But I believe that Johnny at the moment has been the fastest currently at the moment. So let's quickly have a look at the standings then at the moment. So at the moment Johnny Stokes is leading the championship. Epic puts in a 1.8.8. Puggy then puts in a 1.9. And then Dijak puts in a 1.10. And Little Kickass goes second with a 1.92. Oh, Mrs. Cole runs just a little bit wide there, coming out of that last corner. So she will go again, definitely. Freddie at the moment with a 1.16.3. Max 1 goes third with a 1.93 as well. So yeah, at the moment Johnny Stokes is in the lead. Frenzy in second. Scotty in third. So table looks, with after 2 rounds, looks pretty decent at the moment. Wonder if there'll be any changes tonight, but it has been said that Johnny Stokes has pulled out a hat-trick. Well, we'll see if he can make the hat-trick tonight. So we'll look at that. I think Leicester goes second with a 1.89. So just off board with Johnny Stokes now. So we'll stick on with Johnny Stokes for the moment, going round Brazilian Grand Prix track. Like I said, the weather doesn't seem to be looking too good. Clouds are sort of coming over, so we'll see if anything changes during the race. But like I say, we start off with a sprint race first. So we'll see what kind of happens there, if any of the weather changes. For the moment, and Johnny Stokes goes P1 with a 1:8.4. So great lap there from Johnny. Freddie's going, waiting for letting a few drivers through. Obviously, let's just hope that he don't get disqualified. Chubb goes third with a 1:88. Then Epic goes with a 1:88 as well. And Freddie's retired from the session. On track. So we've got a few drivers still out as well, so Mrs. Cole again. Back out, looks like on a fresh set of tyres as well, I think. Does get in front of the Aston Martin of Scotty. Also got Cherry as well on their lap as well. Cherry puts himself into P11 with a 1:99. Have a look, see how Mrs. Carl's doing as well. Coming up through last corner, near enough, well I would say the last corner, but down the main straight. P6 for Mrs. Cole with a 1:91. Very out there by Mrs. Cole. So who we still got then? Keelan is invalidated, so we'll go again. Scotty also on a lap as well. So we're still waiting for Keelan, Scotty, Frenzy and El Stefano. So yellow flag in sector at the moment, but it's not hampering anybody at the moment, as we know. So has anybody, I don't think, nothing's really changed at the moment. Zachary has gone P10, I think. I think there was a change there. And Scotty goes second fastest with a 1:84. So Is there any split difference at the moment? So 1400s between Scotty and Johnny Stokes. So lap times are pretty much picking up for now, but we'll see if there will be any change. Let's have a look at Keelan. $111.3 for Keelan at the moment. P17. Frenzy's back in the pits. El Stefano. Can El Stefano possibly get a little bit of slipstream off the Red Bull? I think El Stefano caught a little bit of slipstream, so El Stefano goes 13th for the 194. So then it's just Frenzy we're waiting for, and Epic. Did Epic retire or did he crash? Not too sure. We'll say we'll have to wait and see. There's roughly 6 minutes left in this short qualifying session. Oh dear. So let's kind of see what happens. Frenzy has retired in the pits. Full goes third, which knocks down Epic. So, can any other driver improve on their time? I think they can. I believe there is a Ferrari. Let's going again. So into the pits goes the Ferrari. And Cam's on his in lap as well. Dijak on a slow lap as well, I think. Leicester has gone a little bit quicker by the looks of it in sector 2. Oh, and just not sure if Leicester was heading into the pits there. Or unless if he was going back into the pits or not, but invalidated just on the line, or just going over the line. Mrs. Carl again, fastest in another purple sector. El Stefano's retired in the pits. Mrs. Carl comes back into the pits as well. Cherry also on a lap. So we'll see if Cherry can improve. Just over 3 minutes to go for this short qualifying session, and then we run into a sprint race. Cherry puts himself up to P11 with a 193. Great lap there by Cherry. Keelan also just about to start his flying lap. So let's ride off board then with Keelan. There is a yellow flag in sector 3, and that's Puggy. Puggy has been disqualified from the session. Puggy has, there's Keelan then. Just invalidates on that lap. He should roughly have enough time to go for another lap. Yes, he's got enough time. 1 minute 50 left. So he does have a Mercedes approaching, but that Mercedes cam is on an outlap as well. So quite a few more drivers coming out as well as Keelan again invalidates. So a little bit unlucky there for Keelan. And Cam Ruddy is also on his lap as well. A few drivers also back out. Chubb's also started their lap as well. Johnny's come back out. Scotty stayed in the pits. So Fuller's also started. So everybody's got round just in time to finish their last lot of flying laps. Cam Ruddy goes up to P7 with a 190. And that is your short qualifying session over. So we will just sit and wait, or get ready for a sprint session. See if any driver improves on their time. Or see if anybody does move up. Fuller stays where he is. Leicester goes first with a 1.8.3. So great lap there by Leicester. So that does drop Johnny Stokes down to second, sorry. Scotty in third. And that is it. That is your short qualifying session roughly finished and done. Just wait for a few cars to get put into the box, and then we can begin with our first sprint race. So here we go then. So Leicester just pips Johnny Stokes by a tenth with a 1.8.3. Johnny Stokes second, Scotty third, Fuller fifth, Fuller fourth, Epic fifth, Chubb sixth, Little Kickass seventh, Cam eighth, Mrs. Carl ninth, Max 1 in 10th, Cherry in 11th, Zachary in 12th, El Stefano 13th, Dijak 14th, Freddie 15th, GCC 16th, Keelan 17th, Frenzy didn't put a time in, and Puggy got disqualified for parked in a dangerous position. So let's have a think. Who, for the sprint race, for the people that's watching and that's sticking around, who have you got for the sprint? Also, guys, we'll also say as well, take your time going into turn 1. It's gonna be good. Let's see what happens. Obviously, races never won from the first lap, so we'll see how things go for the sprint race. So, off to a formation lap first, then at the start. So, I think is everybody gonna be on the same? No. So, quite a lot of soft type of drivers for this first sprint, for this first little sprint race. So there could be a lot of action to see in this race tonight. A lot of action. So obviously no pit stops. Obviously with it being a sprint race. Unless obviously if there is any damage that will come to it, which I don't think there should be, but we should get an great race as we always do. A few drivers just missing out the box, waiting for Puggy then to line up so we can get the race underway. And we've got 5 lights. And we are underway. So lights out and we are underway. Leicester gets a pretty good start going into turn 1. Johnny Stokes also there as well. Scotty keeping that with a Red Bull behind him. We've got loads of people changing over. So I think Cammy's made up a position. Little Kickacker's made up a position. Chubb loses 2 places at the moment. And Puggy's gone round. I think, yes, no, yeah, Puggy's gone round. Zachary's gone round as well. So a few drivers losing some virtual safety car. Dijak is out of the race. So first driver we lose is Dijak there. So under virtual safety car, obviously drivers have to keep at a delta. So we are not obviously back under racing. I don't think which we're not. So Iraz goes into the pits then for that front wing change, and Puggy as well. That is it. Yes, there is. So Leicester, oh no, Leicester picks himself up a drive-through penalty under the VSC restart. So that is really good. And Freddie Saints is out. Another virtual safety car. So that is Freddie out of the race. Little bit of a restart just under it. So, as we say, Leicester has that drive-through penalty. Potentially for speeding under the safety car, but by how much? I think that's what's gonna. I think that's gonna be sort of one of those things to figure out, was by how much of his delta was either under or over to pick up a drive-through. But once Leicester takes his drive-through penalty, and he gets another one. What is happening? That is really, really unlucky for Leicester. Johnny Stokes sets fastest lap of the race, but there, and then Mrs. Cole sets fastest lap of the race as well. So Leicester has a lot of work to do with having 2 drive-through penalties to do. So that is really unfortunate there for Leicester. We've got El Stefano and Little Kickass battling it out as well. Erez sets the fastest lap of the race. So order has changed now then. Johnny Stokes in first place, Scotty in third, Fuller in third, Epic in fourth, Cam in fifth, Mrs. Cole in sixth, Chubb in seventh. So what I would say a nice start we've had. We do have a spinner at the back. That is GGC with a little bit of contact with someone or a spin. Scotty sets the fastest lap of the race, I think. Yep, so Scotty's got the fastest lap of the race. There is a lot of things happening. So, Leicester again in the pitch for his second drive-through penalty. So Leicester, a lot of work for him to do. Potentially in the next race, but hopefully in this race as well. So we'll have to see what happens now. Oh, Scotty's gone round. Scotty's gone round, puts a little bit too much power on in the car. Johnny Stokes sets the fastest lap of the race, so that does bring up a few drivers. Camp up to P3, makes an overtake on Epic, but can Epic come back? Looking to go down the inside of Camp, gets the move done, misses Carl as well. Exceptional move there by Mrs. Cole, but then loses a place to Cam as well. So Mrs. Cole was trying to follow Epic at the same time. Great move there though, but she's still on the rear of Cam. So we've got a little train coming up. We've got a yellow flag again in sector 2. Could that possibly be Keelan is retired? We got a safety car. So we've had 2 VSCs, drive-through penalty for Leicester under both those virtual safety cars. So could this potentially bring, which I think it will, it'll bring everybody back in, but could this potentially bring Leicester back into the mix? After getting those 2 drive-through penalties. Oh, and he picks himself up a 5-second time penalty in the pit lane as well. So, like I say, he could have changed tyres as well. Yes, he has. So he's back on a set of fresh tyres. A fair few drivers are as well, but will Leicester? I don't think Leicester will have enough time to catch up with the pack. I don't think. Or could he? I think he could. So then if safety car is still going to be out, which I think it is, so safety car is going to be out for another lap. But a lot of work has to be done for Leicester. So we will think the safety car will be in this lap, and then we've got 5 laps to go. Leicester is now taking his 5-second time penalty in the pits. So could we potentially have the safety car go around again, or will the safety car go in this lap? We will have to wait and see. So let's quickly So if Leicester catches up to the pack now, potentially safety car could go in this lap. Which I think we are going to get for another lap with the safety car. So another lap with the safety car, and then we've got 3 laps worth of racing to go. So Leicester's caught back up, so for now then, it could be anybody's race. It could be anybody's race to win with 3 laps to go. So don't think anyone's really changed. No one's really changed tyres apart from Buggy and Leicester. GCC's lost connection there, so I'm sure we can get him back in as well. So hopefully GGC will get back in. Hopefully don't lose a lot of places. And safety car will be in this lap, so Johnny Stokes now is the lead safety car. So Johnny Stokes will be the one to predict when he will decide to go. Safety car peels into the pits. And Johnny Stokes has gone now. Johnny Stokes has gone. Didn't catch Full Air out too much, but Full Air was expecting to have then a little battle there with Epic. Cam is there, little kick-ass round the outside of El Stefano. And Scotty there, Scotty and Frenzy also battling it out as well. And who we got going off here? We got a lot of people changing positions here. We've got Scotty and El Stefano go wheel to wheel, going up the little hill. El Stefano there loses a few positions. So that does allow Erez and Leicester up. Cherry losing a position to Little Kickass as well. So Little Kickass is making his moves as well. Rumax also there as well. Who we got? We got Mrs. Cole as well. Johnny Stokes setting the fastest lap of the race. Mrs. Cole is under attack by a Little Kickass as well. We've got whoa, what a move. Great move there from Little Kickass on the inside, going through the centre rest of Mrs. Cole. Mrs. Cole does have Cherry and Frenzy also behind as well. Cherry looking to make a move on Mrs. Cole going into the turn. Does Mrs. Cole, I think, a little bit of a push, but not too much. But Mrs. Cole loses place to Cherry and Frenzy there, and Frenzy just does a jump towards Frenzy, and I think Frenzy is stuck. Frenzy is stuck on the hill, still kind of wheel spinning to try and get himself. So Frenzy's been disqualified for dangerous parking. Chubb, Epic and Little Kick-Ass. Everybody battling it out at the moment. Epic and Chubb battling it out. What a great battle we've got coming. We've got Cam coming through. Cam makes the move on Chubb. Little Kick-Ass is also there. Woomax is there as well. Final lap of the race. And Leicester's out. Leicester is out. What's happened to Leicester? So there's the car of Leicester. Not sure what happened there with Leicester, but let's get back to this battle between Cam, Little Kick-Ass, Chubb, Woomax, Cherry. What a great little battle we've got off here towards the end of the sprint race. But let's quickly go up to the top as Johnny Stokes takes the win for the sprint race. Fuller in second. Rue's going to make it. It looks like Little Kick-Ass as well. So Kick-Ass goes P4. Cam in P5. Chubb P6. Woomax 7th. Cherry 6th. Scotty 8th. Puggy in 10th. So a great result there for Puggy. I can't grumble at that. Puggy gets Codemasters Driver of the Day for the sprint race. I think I'd have to agree on that as well. For that. So then Johnny Stokes takes first place in the sprint, followed by Fuller in P2, Epic P3, Little Kick-Ass P4, Cam P5, Chubb P6, Woomax P7, Cherry P8, Scotty P9, Puggy P10, Erez P11, Mrs. Cole 12th, El Stefano 13th, and GC and Leicester. We did lose those drivers, but a lot can be made up in the main event now, which we will come to next for the full race. Oh! Now this is a surprise. So we have a seemingly wet race, but how long is this rain going to stay with us? So, like I say, let's see how long let's see how long the rain's with us. Might change. We've got Leicester and Keelan on the grid. Not sure if there was any contact there. But let's hope, as always, we get another fantastic race, especially now in the rain. which normally we should do, we usually do. We'll have to wait and see. But anything can happen in a wet race. So, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed we'll see a good race like we did in the sprint, and hopefully we will also see some more epic battles as we go along. So everybody is up and ready. We have 5 lights. Lights are out and we are underway for race 2 in RPR. Johnny Stokes gets a really good start as well. Little Kickass also gets a start. There's a 5-place grid penalty for Dijak. Yellow flags already. 5-second penalty for Kilo on Frenzy. Johnny Stokes also trying to pull away from Fulham. Let's go down. Few drivers going down. Max has slipped down a few places. Puggy's only lost 2 places. Everything is looking. GCC is down at the back. Keelan's got no wings, so he'll go into the pits. And get that front wing changed. Leicester at the moment up to P10. So Leicester making moves already after what seemingly would have been a great race. Picks himself with 5-second penalty and retires from the race. So Leicester then is out of the session. Frenzy, 5-second penalty for Frenzy. So then let's pick up where we left off. Let's see what is going on. Looks like everybody is kind of figuring things out. 5-second penalty for GCC. GCC is also retired as well. Dijak's got no front wing at the moment. So do has Freddie, Wumax, Erez behind him as well. So that he'll go in to get his front wing changed. GCC's gone now. So then let's go back. So there's a little bit of a gap opened up between Johnny Stokes, Fuller and Epic as well. Johnny Stokes sets the fastest lap of the race. So we've got both the Aston Martin drivers swapping places. So Scotty gets Chubb just before the centre S. Chubb is on the back of his teammate. Mrs. Cole's also getting into the mix as well. So we've currently lost 2 drivers in this race, but I'm sure things will get sorted as well. But let's continue on. So we've got a little 4-way battle going at the moment. Dijak's still not gone into the pits and changed his front wing. He's still fighting with Wumax, Erez and Freddie as well. So Womack gets the move done. Or does he? Johnny Stokes and Fuller have changed positions. So Fuller now takes the lead of the race. And we have a safety car. So Iraz is out of the race. And woo, okay. Now that's different. That is different. Freddie's retired as well. Has Freddie mistakenly hit the safety car? Did Freddie hit the safety car? So then let's have a look at quite a few drivers are coming in. So everybody's switched. So roughly everybody's coming to the pits and switched to dry tyres. So Fuller comes back out in the lead. Epic in third, Cam fourth, Little Kickass fifth. Mrs. Carr has actually split both the Aston Martins. So Mrs. Carr opted for a set of soft tyres. So there's a few little tyre strategies in place at the moment. A few hard tyre drivers, a few medium tyre drivers. One driver on the set of soft tyres. Five-second penalty for Puggy for a severe collision with El Stefano. So Womack's in the pits. Womack's is retired. Friends is in the pits as well. So, So I think we'll probably go for another lap for Frenzy to catch up and Healing to catch up as well. Keelan is in the pits. Very interesting race at the start. Safety car, wow, that was a little bit late. So safety car is in this lap then. So we are underway. So fully Johnny Stokes pulls a little bit of a gap to Epic. Little Kickass and Cam are battling it out again as well. Little Kickass looking to go around the... Oh, what a move, Little Kickass round the outside of Epic. We have got 3 drivers go wheel to wheel. Oh, what happened here? What happened here? Excuse me. Nearly lost my voice there. Wow. Wasn't expecting to see 3 or 4 cars go wide. Mrs. Carl up to 4th place. Cam down into 5th. So a gap, 2-second gap to Johnny Stokes and Epic. To Full Air. Dijak losing a few positions. Epic's lost a few positions as well by the looks of it. Let's quickly have a look. So at the moment Dijak has 11 positions. Johnny Stokes sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:12. Let's jump on board with Johnny Stokes to see if he's going to be opting to make a move on Full Air. But Full Air defends from Johnny Stokes. Mrs. Cole is hot on the heels of Little Kickass as well on those soft tyres. Cherry and Dijak also find out as well, both going wheel to wheel up to the uphill. Who's going to have the line though? It looks to be like Cherry. Epic comes alongside as well. Both still wheel to wheel, but it looks like Epic's got the move done on Dijak. Now looking to get a move done on Cherry as well, to see where that goes. Mrs. Carl already on the back of Little Kickass as well. Johnny Stokes fastest lap of the race. Mrs. Carl then up to 3rd place. Takes that P3 position off Little Kickass, Epic and Cherry. Epic's made a move just before the center resters on Cherry. Johnny Stokes makes a move on Full Air then for the lead of the race. So Johnny Stokes back up into P1 with Full Air still on his tail. Oh, we've got a collision between Dijak and Cherry. A little bit of a collision between Dijak and Cherry there. Puggy sets the fastest lap of the race on a set of hard tyres with a 1:11.3. So a lot of change has been happening then through what we've seen. Little Kickass though still on the rear of Mrs. Carl as well, not letting her slip away from the gap. Johnny Stokes again, fastest lap of the race with a 1:10.8. Little Kickass still on the heels of Mrs. Carl as well then. So quite everything's sort of splitting up. El Stefano and Frenzy also making a good battle there. Fuller still closely following Johnny Stokes on those tyres. Chubbs sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:10.8. So Little Kickass then still on the rear, on the heels of Mrs. Cole. A little bit deep there, but manages to stay in front of Little Kickass as well then. So coming up through the final corners then. Chubb, 3-second time penalty for Chubb. Johnny Stokes has pulled that gap to Fuller then on 4 seconds. Epic and Cam still going at it. So great battle going off here between Epic and Cam. Still going through what about the battle between El Stefano and Frenzy. Mrs. Cole gets overtaken by Little Kickass, so Little Kickass back up to P3. Mrs. Cole picks up a 3-second time penalty there as well. But he's still hot on the heels of Little Kickass Scotty. Excuse me. And Keelan getting into a little bit of a mishap there, but not by much. Let's go back up then to see the battle between Mrs. Cole and Little Kickass. Can Mrs. Cole try and now make an attempt going into turn 1 before the centre wrestlers to try and get a move done on Little Kickass? DRS open as well, a little bit of overtake. Dijak picks herself up a 3-second time penalty. Mrs. Cole going into turn 1 into the centre wrestlers, but Little Kickass manages to keep it. Defends really well there, Kickass from Mrs. Cole, but Mrs. Cole gets the DRS again. Looking to go down the inside. Little Kickass defending really well, but Mrs. Cole makes an exceptional move there on Little Kickass, so Mrs. Cole back up to P3 again. Great battle we've got going here for P3 podium at the moment. Little Kickass looking to make a move, get some move done again on Mrs. Cole. So swapping and changing these two drivers are. We've got Epic and Cam closing this gap in potentially. So again, can Mrs. Cole again try and get another move done on Little Kickass that's right on board with Mrs. Cole. DRS open, using some of that overtake as well. Get that a little bit closer and closer. Little Kickass manages to defend going into centre wrestlers. Mrs. Cole get a good run out of turn 3 using the DRS again, but Little Kickass there is, oh, and now we have another safety car. So Puggy then out of the race. So let's jump, so the car's gone now, but this will help as well for some of the lap drivers maybe to maybe change pit strategies. Johnny Stokes in the pits, Fuller's in the pits. Little Kickass is in, Mrs. Cole's in the pits as well. Epic comes into the pits. 3-second penalty for Epic, so this will excuse me. This will potentially change the lead in the race for now. So Cam will take the lead of the race. Johnny Stokes does beat Fuller out of the pit lane. Mrs. Cole, Little Kickass comes out as well. Cherry out in front of Epic as well. So potentially, mostly every driver's coming to change the tyres. Dijack's come in the pits. Chubb's in the pits as well. Scotty stayed out. And Keelan in the pits as well. Come out on a set of soft tyres. So not sure, obviously. Nothing's popped up yet for obviously letting the lap drivers through yet. So usually something does pop up for letting the lap drivers come through. But nothing yet has come up. So currently at the moment, Cam is your new leader. Scotty's back in the picture as well. So let's see again then if we're gonna be having excuse me, another fantastic race as we have been having so far. A lot of swapping and changing around with the drivers. So another lap in for with the safety car, so Scotty can catch up as well. So I think hopefully nothing really offsets the restart of the race, but we will soon see what happens there. But we will come down to that once we get underway. So Scotty is now back up with the fight. So hopefully, fingers crossed, safety car goes in this lap, and then we can get ready and racing for the remaining 20 laps that we have left to go. So safety car then peels off into the pits and Cam gets going again. Chubb, and I think Dijak changed over there as well. But Cam still holding on to the lead. Johnny Stokes fastly approaching. Goes to the inside of Cam. Gets the move done. So Johnny Stokes up into P1. Can Fuller follow as well? Oh, a little bit of contact between Fuller and Cam there. Keelan's retired as well. So might have got caught up in that mix up there as well. So just after a safety car restart there, we do have another one. So that does now change. Kind of change as well. What's Epic doing? So so down to 10 drivers as we have left. So, back here we go again then. Safety car's in, Johnny Stokes leaves safety car. Let's get this race back underway. And let's see where we go from there. So, let's crack on then, let's have it. So, everybody is kind of offset, ready to go. Couple of drivers with penalties as well, only 3 seconds, so not that much. Scotty and Stefano changing positions over. Fuller also trying to make some moves, or trying to make a move, sorry, on El Stefano. So we'll keep an eye on that. Mrs. Carl, Little Kickass and Johnny Stokes up to P1. Chubb and Dijak changing over to Chubb, but then up to P6. Hunting down Frenzy and Cherry. DRS will not be given this time round. So Cherry looking to make a move on Frenzy going into the centre resters. Mrs. Cole picks up a 3-second time penalty for Mrs. Cole. Chubb and Cherry still going 3 wide there. Chubb loses 2 places in one corner from Chubb and Dijak. Chubb up on the inside of Dijak, but then Dijak dives back up. So what a battle we've currently got going off at the moment here. Excuse me, Fuller making a move on Scotty and Cherry. Gets the move done there then on Cherry, so Fuller up into P7 will join this battle up front that's in front of him. Mrs. Carl trying to keep up with Little Kickass and Johnny Stokes. Cherry, a little bit of a spin there. DRS is now enabled for the drivers. Chubb and Fuller again battling out. Fuller gets the move done there then on Chubb. So now hunting down Dijak. So gaps are proceeding to come, but we'll go to roughly P7, roughly down. Fuller again goes to the inside, tries to go to the inside, now around trying to go around the outside of Dijak, goes over the curbs. Fuller does, but has to pull out, trying to make that move. Chubb also coming back in as well. So Chubb, Fuller and Dijak. Dijak is harvesting, so Fuller will look to make a move just before turn 1. Chubb's also there as well, but Chubb doesn't opt to make the move yet. So Chubb, Dijak, Fuller and Frenzy are slowly battling out, but Frenzy is also clawing that gap. Oh, he's kind of losing time as well to Mrs. Carl as well. But we'll see if these drivers can catch up. Fuller again back on the attack of Frenzy. Dijak has Chubb behind him as well. Scott is closing in on these 4 drivers. Slowly but surely. Fuller looking to get a move done on Frenzy. Gets DRS wide open into turn 1. Gets the move done. There, Chubb gets the move done on Dijak, so Chubb up to P6. But Dijak is looking to come back again. Doesn't opt to get the move done yet, so decides not to think about making the move. Fully still within reaching distance of Frenzy. Little Kick-Ass still trying to maintain and stay with Johnny Stokes. Frenzy picks up that gap again of Full Air, but the gap keeps going. Now is Frenzy still in? Frenzy does not have the DRS of Full Air. Dijak coming to make a move on Chubb. Going into turn 1. Chubb says, not this time. It looks like Dijak got a better run on Chubb, going up the outside. Chubb, Dijak, makes the move there then on Chubb. Frenzy now back in. The DRS range of Full Air. Johnny Stokes building that gap that little bit more. Full Air also has caught up to the rear slowly of Mrs. Carl. So now this will be, with 10 laps to go, still could be anyone's, anything could happen. But let's look again. Chubb again looking to go into the center S's in front of Dijak, gets the dumb move. Dijak picks himself up a 3-second time penalty. Let's quickly have a look then. So Chubb on a 3, Dijak on a 6, and Mrs. Carl on a 6 as well. But Chubb and Dijak still going at it. Both drivers wheel to wheel going up the hill. Who's going to have it better? It looks like Chubb has had the better of that. So Chubb and Dijak still battling it out. Let's move up to Frenzy, Full Air and Mrs. Carl then, to see what's going to happen here. Is Full Air close enough? Isn't close enough yet to make a move on Mrs. Carl, but these 3 drivers will still continue on. Scotty pulls into the pits. El Stefano up to P8 then. So Scotty opting for a set of soft tyres till the end of the race. Mrs. Carl now does have Full Air on the rear of the car. Frenzy still there within DRS range. Not sure what's happened to Chubb there, but it looks like Chubb and Dijak are still there between each other. So let's go back up to Frenzy, Full Air and see what's happening there. Looks like Full Air is going to attempt to make a move on Mrs. Carl, going down the outside, going into the center S's. Full Air gets the move done there on Mrs. Carl. Can Mrs. Carl though come back on full air. Gets that little bit closer. Still managing to keep that gap going. So this race still isn't over yet. Johnny Stokes, comfortable 2-second lead over Little Ass Kicker, sorry. And we still have full air Mrs. Cole and Frenzy. Still battling out with each other. We've still got Dijak and Chubb also battling it out as well. So these two drivers also giving us a bit of entertainment as well. So full air's pulled a little bit of a gap from Mrs. Cole. Mrs. Cole still has that DRS. So can Mrs. Cole then get a good run out of the centre S's? Try and get that little bit closer to full air. Does get that little bit closer as well. So Scotty, fastest lap of the race for Scotty. Frenzy then closing in on Mrs. Cole. Got yellow flag in sector 2. Not enough there to bring out a safety car, what we don't need. But we'll see. So Frenzy looking to close in on Mrs. Cole. Mrs. Cole dropped out of the DRS. 3-second penalty for Cherry as well. So Frenzy looking a little bit closer to Mrs. Cole as well. So at the moment, Chubb picks up time penalty as well. So currently at the moment, closest battle we've got here is between Frenzy and Mrs. Cole. Chubb isn't that far behind of the two drivers in front, well, 3 drivers in front of him. So is there going to be... Frenzy still has the DRS. So still within DRS range, so can Frenzy then maybe get that little bit closer again to Mrs. Cole. Mrs. Cole's still looking to try and get that gap up to full air as well. With Johnny Stokes, 3-second gap, nearly 4-second gap to Little Kick-Ass. Dijak picks himself up another penalty. So Frenzy then again, this time is a lot closer to Mrs. Cole. El Stefano and Scotty have caught up with Dijak, and Dijak has gone down. Full air picks himself up a penalty, his first penalty. So a first penalty for full air then. So that's a 3-second full air. Frenzy still that little bit closer to Mrs. Carl, looking to try and make a move on Mrs. Carl. Chubb in P6 at the moment. So, is this going to be the time now for Frenzy to try and make a move or an overtake on Mrs. Cole going into the first lot of centre S's? Pardon me. So that moves get done then by Frenzy on Mrs. Cole. So, but what a race we've had so far at the moment. A lot of ups, a lot of downs as well, but it's been fun to commentate on. Two VSCs in the sprint. I think we had a safety car as well in the sprint. We've also had, I'd say, 3 safety cars in this race. Which, like I say, race hasn't been too bad, it's been fun. There's been overtakes, we've seen a lot of drivers overtake each other. And we've also seen maybe 3-4 cars going side by side as well, which has been pretty good to see. But Mrs. Cole is still chasing Frenzy down. In the AlphaTauri, gets a little bit closer again to Frenzy. Full Air is on a little bit of a, looks like a full pace push. I think he's trying to, if he can, to try and catch up with Little Ass Kicker. We'll stay on this battle, still currently going at the moment between Mrs. Cole and Frenzy. Two laps to go. I think they're actually both pulling in. Well, what I did say, I think they're both pulling each other around, but also the gap's coming down to Full Air for Mrs. Cole and Frenzy. So Full Air isn't that far away from Frenzy and Mrs. Cole. But it looks like they're slowly picking up, or closing that gap to Full Air. So here we go then. Final lap of this race. Full Air picks himself up another 3-second time penalty. So that's his second penalty of the night. Mrs. Carl gets the DRS from Frenzy. Gets that little bit closer, but still pulling in that gap as well of Full Air. But while we keep an eye on that, we must also keep an eye on where Johnny Stokes is. Let's keep an eye on this battle for the time being at the moment. So let's quickly jump up then to Johnny Stokes, and Johnny Stokes comes then down the main straight and makes it a hat-trick win and wins the sprint race and the feature race as well. Little Ash Kicker in second, Fuller drops down to P4, Frenzy takes P3, Mrs. Cole P5, Chubb P6. No, Chubb goes down to P7, so Scotty up to P6, and then Cherry P10 picks up the last points. El Stefano will go P8 for that race. So Dijak then comes over the line in P8, picks up the fastest lap of the race as well. So then that was your Monday night race from RPR round 3 at the Brazilian Grand Prix, and the rain comes in just as we finish as well. So this is your 4 results then. Johnny Stokes in P1, Little Ash Kicker P2, Full Air P3, Frenzy P... No, that's not right. So Johnny Stokes P1, Little Ash Kicker P2, Frenzy P3, Full Air P4, Mrs. Cole P5, Scotty P6, Chubb P7, El Stefano P8, Dijak P9, Cherry P10, and we lost, and we did lose Epic, Cam, Kaylan, Huggy, Woomax, Freddie, Araz, GCC, and Leicester. But on that note, thanks for everybody that's commented, joined, watched. Hope the comms was good for you. Hope you enjoyed the race as well. I know I certainly did. But other than that, on that note, thanks everyone for joining. I've been your commentator, R.O. Cara. Join me next Sunday for RPR, and we are at Brazil itself. So let's hope, fingers crossed, that will be also a good race as well. But thanks to everyone for joining. Good night.